Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Pancake Talks. I'm Fran, PancakeSwap's community manager, and I will be your host today. I hope everyone is doing really great. Actually, we are gathering again like 2 days in a row. Uh, we used to do this once a week, but right now we are doing like we got a nice project. We invite them for an AMA, they come, we record it no matter if it's a Monday, Sunday, Wednesday. We are going to be here every time we get a really and a spicy and insightful guest to be talking with us today. The guest of today, I know you, at least unless you have been under a rock the last few months, I know all of you are aware about the recent launch of PancakeSwap Infinity, formerly called PancakeSwap before. One of the greatest and most impactful updates. We can talk about telling a little bit about the decks with a lot of gas optimizations, multiple put types, um, customized fee structure, and one thing that we already do. I mean more than one AMA about it. It's like those I like to call it add-ons or plugins. Thinking about my old times um, playing with media players and that stuff, which is called hooks, and it's all a a custom layer. I mean, a custom, we can say, um, a structure or in structures we can. Trying to explain as simple as possible. Instructions that we can put in the cycle of life of pools. I will put it in that way. So, and I also know that you are maybe aware about we have different kind of hooks, and our idea is to try to incorporate as much as we could. So, a big shout out to all the teams and developers there that are thinking about start building on top of PancakeSwap Infinity, and that brings us to today, where we are going to know a little bit more. And I personally, I'm super interested thinking about when you do a swap, for example, there are a lot of things going behind the scenes, and there are a lot of actors, I mean, bots, we can say, that can take advantage of slippage, of difference in the price, trying to front run us, trying to do sandwich attacks to us. But what does that it mean, and how can be preventing that? You know, there are a lot of ways, and PancakeSwap has launched the private RPCs, for example. But I actually, some months ago, or maybe some years ago, I wasn't completely aware. So what I'm trying to say with this long introduction, it's like, since PancakeSwap, we are trying to get all the users the smoothest training experience for you all, but also some education, because it's the user that knows what is happening behind the scenes. It's a user that has more knowledge, and it's a user that knows what happened and how can be prevented. So if you have followed our recent announcements, we have just announced a new hook with a new partner. So I'm going to stop my big mouth right now to invite Lucas, and sorry for pronouncing, Draco, from Arbiter Finance, who are the developers and the builders behind our new hook from MEV protection, and also that we will know that benefit a lot our liquidity providers. Hey guys, I hope I you are not sleeping after my introduction.
Hey, Fan. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you for the invitation. And I'm happy to be here with you all from PancakeSwap community.
Yeah, same here. You're almost there with the pronunciation
Sorry.
of the nickname. Yeah, it's Enratko or whatever.
Sorry guys.
No problem, no problem.
I, I actually, for the ones hearing on the other side, I asked him how to pronounce it, and I actually did it wrong. So sorry.
No worries, no worries.
Talking about the hook itself and what do you do, I would like to ask you personally, how are you sitting virtual sitting here with me? How did you end up in crypto in this rabbit hole of working in crypto? Could you tell us? I mean, whatever you want to tell us, a little bit about your background.
Of course. So actually, we know each other from high school, and then Łukasz studied computer science, and I studied theoretical physics. And we are like 28 years old right now. So yeah, and we are in crypto like for 5 years, more or less. My journey started with doing arbitrage on Polygon blockchain. So it was just the time when fees on Ethereum get very high and people were migrating to Polygon, and Polygon was a fresh thing. There was no PancakeSwap before yet at the time, and yeah, so this was my this is when I get into crypto. And on the way, I was working on, together with Łukasz, we worked on a few projects, including our own implementation of V3 AMM, which failed, and was also we developed a lending protocol on one of the Polkadot chains. And yeah, and like for the last 2 years, maybe a bit less, we are working on this idea of increasing profitability of liquidity providers on AMMs. And yeah, with PancakeSwap Infinity, it was much easier for us to implement it. And yeah, here we are now.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Okay, let's talk a little bit about what you do. For the ones who might maybe not know, what is Arbiter Finance and how this come to reality? Could you please tell us a little bit what is and why are you here? What problem are you trying to solve in DeFi?
Yeah, of course. So, like in one sentence, in the very simple words, Arbiter is a plugin for PancakeSwap Infinity that is designed to increase liquidity providers' profits. And many may not know, but a lot of like value is extracted from like a lot of many people earn a lot by extracting value from AMM pools, so from PancakeSwap or Uniswap or any other DEX. And most of the knowledge on the decentralized exchanges, as well as on the centralized exchanges, is made by bots or like skillful big players who have their own programs to trade on DEXs and SEXs. And yeah, it's not a bad thing. It's just how it is. Like every trade generates profits for liquidity providers. Every trade generates profits for liquidity providers because traders pay fee. But we think there is room for improvement to increase profitability of liquidity providers because most of the trades on PancakeSwap are like arbitrage trades. So whenever price on SEX changes, someone one buys the asset on PancakeSwap cheaper and sells it on the DEX. And we think like part of this profit should be redirected or shared with liquidity providers.
Nice. It's like a race, right? All the bots and all the players are trying to squeeze as
Exactly.
much as possible every cent. I mean, there is no place for normal traders. I mean, real users and not bots, right?
Yeah,
This is how it
exactly.
works.
Exactly.
And that's a good point because there's a big competition. So there's many players which compete with each other. And if one player could get like a privileged access to a pool and gather all MEV from it, he would profit a lot from it. So we will get into it, but this is somehow we manage. This is how we manage to increase the profits of liquidity providers.
Perfect. Before we dive into it, how this partnership with us with PancakeSwap came up? I mean, were you like having a beer and you said, "Oh, we need to solve this problem"? You were using PancakeSwap and you said, "Oh, PancakeSwap doesn't have this function." How did you come? How did you start working with PancakeSwap?
So, well, this was a process because the idea originated sometime last year, and when the well, way before the release of PancakeSwap before / PancakeSwap Infinity, and we simply found out that the hook. The PancakeSwap Infinity's upcoming hooks could serve that purpose of implementing that idea of redirecting MEV profits from MEV to back to LPs. So long story short, we managed to get into Monad's incubator Mach 1 mid last year. While being there, we've finished the implementation and managed to get the business outreach and get a contact with PancakeSwap, which obviously was an obvious choice for a partnership. As it's one of the biggest access, huge TVL, and the opportunity. So yeah, that's how the collaboration started in short, and the collaborations has been great. Communication, very productive, and that it's overall.
Yeah, and by the way, we are ourselves we are like trading on PancakeSwap quite a lot. So, but on the other hand, so from one side we are those arbitrageurs or those like traders who use bots to profit for themselves. But on the other hand, we are also the DeFi users, so we have both perspectives, and we think that it will be like much better for everyone. Like we believe in DeFi very hard, so to DeFi to live, liquidity providers must also profit. So yeah, so that's something I wanted to add.
Nice addition, because naturally my next question is if you can explain in simple terms what is this MEV Capture Hook and what's the reason or how it end up benefiting liquidity providers. I mean, in the simple terms you can put.
Yeah, so the source of this value that is extracted, in our case, when we speak about profitability of liquidity providers, is that whenever there's a price difference on, let's say, Binance and PancakeSwap, someone can benefit on it by selling cheaper on one DEX on Binance and selling at higher price on the PancakeSwap or other way. And you can imagine that if such profitable situation exists, many people compete to get it. So let's say like on average, there is like $100 per day that can be gathered, but there is like 10 arbitrageurs who compete with each other to earn it. And on average, let's say everyone earns $10. So 10 arbitrageurs compete with each other for $100, and they split it. Everyone earns $10. But imagine that there was only one arbitrager. If there was only one arbitrager, he would earn whole $100. So it's easy to think that every one of those 10 arbitrageurs would be willing to pay, let's say, $80 to get this privileged access and earn $100, because then he would increase his profits from $10 to $20 per day. Of course, in real world, it's not $10, but it's hundreds or thousands of dollars per day. So yeah, he would increase his profit from 10 to 20, which is 100% gain for him, and he would pay the rest. So the $80 to liquidity providers. So there are some more nuances that in those competition, also some value is going to block producers, because arbitrageurs, when they compete with each other, the arbitrager who pays the highest transaction fee gets his transaction included in the first spot in the block, so he will gather the profit. So this is also like a leakage of the profit that we want to capture. Yeah.
So if I just sum up to people that watch it, like for what that this means for LPs, like in simplest terms, like with Impulse, with Arbiter, there's just more value, if we can define fee as a value, like more value paid to liquidity providers, because the value that would be captured by the outside actors is just not leaking anymore. So it's coming back to LPs, and they earn more.
Exactly. So you can think that part of the profits that arbitrager usually would keep for themselves is shared with liquidity providers, and it's not a part, but it's like a significant part. So we get around 80%.
Okay, so maybe we can say that instead of that the bots pay to maybe the block producer, they are paying like a bribe directly to the LPs, right? I'm
Yeah,
getting it right.
exactly.
Yeah.
But there's more. But there's more to it, because like this is the one part, and the second part is that the profit is not splitted into many arbitrageurs. So like what? As in an example, like if there's $100 to be splitted in a real scenario, like let's say 20 or maybe $30 from those $100 will go to block builders, and the rest will be splitted into the arbitrageurs. But in our case, like one arbitrager gathers $20, and all the rest, $80 is going to liquidity providers. So it's a great improvement.
Oh, great! So the only bot or arbitrager that wins, it's the one that offers most to the LPs, something like
Yes.
that, right?
And
Yes,
the one
of
that
course.
wins the most, that earns the most. The more if there was no arbiter.
Perfect. So you already said, but you have estimated a 20% increase in trading fees for LPs. How to achieve that number, and what are the scenarios like where the price, where the market is super volatile? When I don't know how to achieve that number. Why that number and not, I don't know. 100 or 100.
Yeah, so actually this 20% was a rough estimate from our simulation on historical data. We just assumed the situation that there is one arbitrager, and he can. So this was exactly our assumption, that there's one arbitrager. He gathers all the MEV, and he shares 80% of it to the liquidity providers. So the number came from our simulation of historical data, and but right now we are already launched. We launched first pool USDC to Solana, and we are quite shocked, because this pool in the last 2 weeks outperformed the pool from V3 by 100%. So if you have for every $1 you've earned on the V3 USDT Sol pool, you could earn one additional dollar if you had used Arbiter pool. So this is we weren't expecting this, but it's it's real. Everyone can check the historical data, and for that last 2 weeks we outperformed by 100% the old solution. But it's not so good because on the other pool we've launched just 10 days ago with a Resolve team. For last 10 days, we only outperformed the previous pool by 10%. So you can see that the 20% was the rough estimate. We are still researching where the difference comes from, and we want to improve our product as fast and as much as possible. But both pools have been proven to outperform the pools without hooks. One outperformed by 10%, and the other outperformed the V3 pool by 100%.
Well, nice. I mean, any outperform from previous stages, it's a win, right? I mean, we are as the bots, you are trying to extract the maximum value for the liquidity providers, but actually migrating benefits from bots to liquidity providers, I mean, it's a really. I mean, you can congrats yourself, no matter that it's not the 20 in all the places, but I'm glad that in PancakeSwap it's an achievement.
Yeah,
And
we're really glad and I think we were making a point. First of all, that we proved the analysis was correct, and the second of all, that we're still very early. So there's definitely a room for improvement, as kind of like Cora mentioned, and we're just planning to improve. So that's why we're kind of trying to invite LPs to join and to grow with us.
perfect. And I have some more questions. Are there any risks or trade-off for liquidity providers using the hook? You know, for the whole community, the hooks is some kind of a super new thing. It's like some of them doesn't really know how to work or what they need to know about a hook before adding liquidity to a pool that is attached to one. So anything you can tell the community so they can be a little bit more knowledge and relaxed about using a hook.
Okay, so hooks are as you said, there are plugins which modify in a little bit the logic of the providing liquidity or trading. So it's an additional piece of logic that is executed before the swap or after swap, before liquidity provision or after liquidity provision. And it allows hook developers to modify a little bit how the hook pool behaves. But the design is such that it's the PancakeSwap contract. So the design of Infinity PancakeSwap contracts is made in such a way that those hooks may have only limited actions. So our hook only modifies the action on swaps, so only on trades. So it cannot in any way influence the liquidity you provide. So it cannot charge fee on your liquidity whenever you provide it or you withdraw it. We don't modify it, so you can always withdraw liquidity without a problem. So there's nothing to worry about as a liquidity provider, because PancakeSwap itself is designed in such a way that you should not worry about, and it's completely safe. So there's no risks. Your funds are not at risk at all. And if there's a trade-offs, I guess there's no. Maybe if you're high frequency professional liquidity provider, then you must make your own analysis, because on average our pool is more profitable. But of course there may be short periods in time, few blocks, when normal pool could benefit you more. But for regular user, I think it's a no-brainer. If you provide liquidity for more than 1 day, more than a week, you should definitely try pools that use Arbiter hook, and you will earn more.
Nice, 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 nice. Thanks. And I got a question from a friend the other day, and I think it's related and not related, but I would like you to answer me a little bit more about this. How this, for example, hook combines with a private RPC. I mean, I'm just asking about the blockchain understanding as a whole. As I see it, it's like they combine super well because the RPC, it's like the tunnel, and this hook will be the final destination for the action of MIV happens. I thinking this correct? Like if without, for example, an RPC, the transaction can be in the public mempool or front run. I mean, can the capture hook even be front run by another MIV bots if we are doing it in a public RPC, for example?
Yeah, so generally, if it's possible, users should always use the private RPC because, as you said, if your transaction is public, anyone can see it. So anyone can like front run it and then back run it. So it's called a sandwich attack, which like makes your price worse. So yeah, you should always private use private RPC, so your transaction is hidden or it's private before it's really on the blockchain. And but it's important to note that we as Arbiter we focus more on the profitability of liquidity providers and not on the swappers. So our hook is built more for liquidity providers to increase their profits because usually like liquidity provision is very risky, and we think that there's yeah, liquidity providers should earn more. So that's why we built the hook.
Perfect. Perfect. Thanks. I know the question wasn't super related, but I usually want to check if what I'm thinking it's correct. There are a lot of things to consider, and for you, maybe it's easier. But thank you a lot. And okay, I have just one more question. I'm not seeing any other questions from the community. So I would like to know a little bit because what's next? Since it's already live in one pair with PancakeSwap, will it expand to more pairs, or maybe you have another hooks trying to do similar or the same in the pipeline? Any leaks you can give us? Anything you are working on and you're super excited and hyped about it? I think it's the moment to let us know.
Well, first of all, we've launched very recently, and and as we've said, we're working behind the scenes to improve our so-called backend, the Arbiter's core. So we're happy to collaborate with other partners that would then, as previously shared, like we've been doing with Resolve, and launch more pools. The data is there and speaks for itself. We believe Arbiter may become an industry standard, and yeah. And after the launch, we've already identified some improvements that might mean an updated version of the hook, which will help yield even better results. But there's no ETA for that.
Yeah, and I think the most important goal for us is to come with more collaborations as we did with Resolve. So actually, Resolve reached to us directly, and they asked that, "Oh, hey guys, we see your hook. We would like to try it. We will create a small pool, and yeah, let's go. Let's see what will happen." And in the last 10 days, we just launched this pool 10 days ago, and the pool was 10% more profitable. So actually, 10%. Some people may think it's not much, but it's actually quite a lot. If you could improve your strategy by 10% when being a professional trader, it's a lot. So we would really like to, if you are in a community of other projects on Binance Smart Chain and they have their own pool, just maybe tell the developers to try our pool because you as a liquidity provider could benefit on it. There is no risks. We can start with a small pool to test it and prove that it works for everyone.
Nice. Thank you, guys. I really enjoy learning a little bit more about how can we try to prevent the capture of value. And as you said, 10% is a lot. I mean, I don't know if I already left those times about trying to pick chance. I heard 10% and I jumped completely in. I mean, liquidity provision continue for me being one of the most powerful DeFi tools in the ecosystem. I always try to say the same to the new users, like learn how to provide liquidity efficiently and smart, and you are going to earn really good rewards without the too much risk we can see in the rest of the ecosystem. So I really how can I say it? I really enjoy these new tools for liquidity providers benefit. So thank you guys for making PancakeSwap Infinity a little bit more secure, we can say, for users and liquidity providers. And also thanks for coming here to speak. So if you want to say anything before we wrap up, the mic is yours. And thanks again for coming.
Yeah, I think we are good. We are very thank you for organizing this, Amma, and thank you guys for being here. And
and spread the word about Arbiter because it's working, and it's just gonna be good. It's just gonna get better.
Yes, I really celebrate. That's the word I wasn't finding. I really celebrate this partnership and this development. So I like to see maybe less memes and more powerful tools. So thanks, guys, for being here and for breaking down how the Arbiter MEV Capture Hook works with PancakeSwap Infinity. And to everyone watching, thanks for being here also today. And remember, this AMA is recorded, and you are going to see it in our Twitter and also in our YouTube channel for you to share with your friends. So if you want to revive some moment, and sure, guys, please pass to the PancakeSwap community. Also, if you want to drop all the official Arbiter links and also the pool live in our communities, feel free to come to ask the users to explore further. And yeah, for sure, if you enjoy this combo, make sure to follow both PancakeSwap and Arbiter on Twitter and also subscribe to your channel. So until next time, guys, hope in some months we can talk about again and you can tell me what you are working on to spread the word about Arbiter and benefit more liquidity providers on PancakeSwap.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.